You are sitting in your car in the parking lot of a coffee shop you went every Saturday morning for 3 years. The engine is still running. Through the window you can see the corner table you always took second from the left, near the radiator, the one that got the afternoon light. Someone else is sitting there now. They look comfortable. They look like a person who still makes small choices freely and doesn't know that's what they're doing. Your phone is in your hand. The screen is warm from how long you've been holding it. There's a message from your sister that says we miss you, and you've been staring at it for 11 minutes because answering it means explaining why you stopped coming to Sunday dinners. And the explanation would require a version of the truth you haven't been able to say out loud yet. You have to be home before he is. His location notification came through 4 minutes ago, 22 minutes away. You don't reply, you start the car, you drive home. The worst part is not the message you didn't answer. The worst part is that somewhere between the corner table and the drive home, you stopped noticing that anything was wrong. Let's go back. Let's see how you got here. You meet him at the lowest point of your life. That part is important. You had just lost a job you'd held for 4 years. A friendship you thought was permanent had ended in a way that left you doubting your own version of events. Your family relationships were strained in ways you hadn't yet found the language for. You are not, at this point, in any position to be suspicious of kindness. Kindness feels like rescue. You are drowning and he is standing on solid ground, and you grab the hand without looking at what's behind him. His name is Daniel. The first thing you notice is that he remembers everything. Not in the way that feels romantic in movies, in a way that feels like something else you don't have a word for yet. He remembers what you ate on your second conversation. He remembers the name of the friend who hurt you and brings it back 3 weeks later, precisely in a different conversation. He remembers an offhand comment you made about your mother and references it in a way that lets you know he has been holding it, turning it over, cataloging it. You tell yourself this is attentiveness. You file it under he actually listens and you feel chosen. Then your friends start acting slightly strange around him, nothing you could point to if someone asked. They go quiet when he enters a room. Your closest friend Maya laughs less around him than she laughs around everyone else, and Maya laughs at everything. You notice this and you tell yourself that he's just intense, that some people find intensity uncomfortable. You file it, you move on. Then he handles a problem for you. Your landlord has been unresponsive about a repair for 6 weeks, and Daniel makes 2 phone calls and it is resolved by the following afternoon. You feel grateful. You also feel underneath the gratitude something quieter, a faint sensation of being slightly smaller than you were before he fixed it. You don't examine that feeling. It's easier not to. Then he starts appearing before you've asked. Not just available, preemptively present, as if he calculated that you would need him before you knew it yourself. He shows up with food on the night you're too exhausted to cook. He calls at the exact moment you're sitting with a problem you haven't told anyone about yet. There is also a woman he mentions occasionally, a colleague named Rachel. He mentions her in a specific way, careful, edited, the way you describe something you have already decided how to describe. You notice the carefulness and file it somewhere you don't examine. You do not connect any of these things to each other. Each one alone is explainable. Together they are a blueprint. You are standing inside it. Maya asks to meet you for coffee on a Thursday afternoon. She is already sitting when you arrive, phone face up on the table, which means she's been waiting and thinking rather than settling in, which means this is not casual. She asks how you are, you say fine. She asks about work, you answer. Then she slides her phone across the table and says, I need you to read something. It is a message from Daniel, sent to her 4 months ago on a night you remember as ordinary, dinner at home, early to bed. The message is long and carefully written. It expresses concern about you. It says certain friendships seem to pull you back toward the version of yourself you've been working hard to move past. It says he's sharing this because he cares about your growth and thought Maya should know, as someone who also cares about you, that he's worried. It contains no aggressive word. It reads on the surface as the message of a devoted partner. You read it twice. Your hands are flat on the table. There is no clean answer here. Daniel has been kind to you in ways that are real and documented. He was there on the nights that were genuinely dark. The stability of the last year is not imaginary. And Maya is sitting across from you with a message that, if you follow it to its conclusion, means the last year has also been something else running underneath everything you believed was real. You tell her she misunderstood the intention, that Daniel worries because he cares. Maya nods once. She picks up her phone. She says okay, not in a way that means she agrees, but in a way that means she has accepted that this is as far as today goes. You go home and tell Daniel about the conversation. You watch his face. He is not angry. He is never angry. He listens completely and then says he's not surprised, that he's been concerned about the energy Maya brings into your life, that he didn't want to say anything because he didn't want to seem controlling, but since it's come up, he just wants to protect you. He takes your hand. He says your name. Maya stops reaching out 2 weeks later. You tell yourself it was her choice. That sits in a room at the back of your mind that you learn quickly not to enter. The apartment feels safe. His name is not on the lease, but his presence is in every system keeping it running: utilities, finances, calendar, passwords to accounts you stopped managing because he manages them more efficiently. You have stopped knowing certain numbers that belong to your own life. He never raises his voice. He doesn't need to. A particular silence, 3 seconds too long after you mention a plan he wasn't part of, communicates everything a raised voice would. When you make arrangements without consulting him, he doesn't object. He asks questions. Who suggested that? How did that come up? Did she reach out to you or did you reach out to her? The questions end the plan more reliably than a no would. His generosity always has a ledger, not written down, just present. You feel the weight of what you owe in every room. And sometimes in conversation he references your low point, the job, the friendship, the version of you he found, not cruelly but contextually, as a reminder of the before. As a measurement of how far you've come under his care. The audience has understood what this is for a long time now. You are still inside it. Your sister calls on a Tuesday morning when Daniel is at work. You almost don't answer, but something makes you pick up. Maybe it's the parking lot. Maybe it's the room you stopped entering. The call lasts 2 hours. She doesn't tell you what to do. She asks, when did you last see a friend alone? When did you last make a decision without calculating how he would receive it? When did you last feel like yourself? You don't have clean answers. The absence is its own answer. She tells you Maya never stopped watching out for you, that between the two of them there is already a structure in place, a spare room, documentation on the accounts, a plan that needs only one thing from you: 48 hours of stillness, no coldness, no distance. Nothing that changes the temperature of the apartment by a single degree. He reads people the way other people read weather, not from what they say, but from the 1,000 signals that precede it. If he senses the shift before you're out, the window closes, and a closed window with him becomes a wall. Monday dinner, Daniel is describing a trip, a place you mentioned wanting to go in the early months, back when you still wanted things out loud. He has researched hotels, restaurants, a specific neighborhood. He is offering you a future built from the exact language of your own desires, fed back to you so precisely that you cannot tell anymore which parts were originally yours. You look at his face. He is entirely sincere. That is the hardest part. Not the control, the sincerity underneath it. You say it sounds beautiful, you clear the plates, you go to bed. Tuesday, 2 bags, Maya's car at the curb, engine running, exhaust in the cold air. He calls 7 times before noon, the 8th you answer because silence felt like cruelty. His voice is calm, he is not angry, he says he's worried. He says you're deciding from fear, he just wants to talk, just talk, and if after that you still want space, he will give you anything you need. He says your name the way he said it the first night, when everything was falling apart and he was the only solid thing in the room. You hang up, not a victory, a wound you made in yourself on purpose because the alternative was staying. By Thursday, he has contacted your workplace, not to threaten, to express concern. You've been under stress, he's worried, he wanted to flag it with someone who sees you regularly, framed as devotion, a flag planted in territory he is not finished with. Maya's spare room has a window that faces a brick wall. You sit on the edge of the bed with your 2 bags and you stay there for a long time. You are safe. That is true, and it is not enough, and both of those things are allowed to exist at the same time. You think about Rachel, the woman from his office he mentioned in that careful, edited way. You don't know what her version of this looks like. You can't reach her from here. You can barely reach yourself from here. You open your phone. Maya's message from 8 months ago is still sitting there unanswered. We miss you. You type, I'm here, I'm sorry it took so long, you survived it, but survival is not a destination. It is a starting condition. You will have to rebuild the habit of trusting your own perception, the thing he most systematically dismantled, and that is not a single day's work. It is every day's work, and some days it won't feel like work so much as it feels like standing in the rubble of a building you helped him construct and trying to remember which materials were originally yours. You look at the brick wall outside the window. Plain, close, unglamorous. The first thing you have looked at in 8 months that he had no part in choosing for you, that's where you start. Not with the accounts, not with the calls, not with everything that needs rebuilding. Just here, just this wall, just the fact that you are the one who chose to look at it. That's enough for today. If you've ever had to rebuild yourself from something you didn't see clearly at the time, you're not alone and you're not late. If this resonated with you, leave a comment. And if you want more stories like this, like and subscribe.